Yes, can you hear me? I'm always concerned about the audio. Okay, my friends, welcome to the Saturday morning live stream here on Garden Like a Viking. Got my cup of tea and got a couple of things to show you guys because a lot of cool stuff is going on. Even though it is the sunset of the gardening season here in zone 5B, 6A, northern Indiana, it is just the beginning of the indoor growing season. So we have all different kinds of things that we're doing, all different kinds of things to discuss and to talk about. So here we are. Now, what is happening in the outdoor garden at the moment? It is the 26th, or no, maybe 29th of October, right before Halloween. So even though the last frost came almost a month ago now, I still have tons of stuff going in the garden. We've had about three good solid frosts so far. And that immediately killed off the heat-loving things like the tomatoes and the peppers and the cucumbers and all of that. But I anticipated that. So I didn't have to worry about oops. Just making sure I did it on the right channel because I started making, okay, yes. Hello, good morning, Donna. Just because I started up my other channel, Nate Muri, as well. Just yesterday I made a video on that channel. And so I thought, oh, for a second, maybe I was live on that channel. But no, okay, now you guys are here. Thank you. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that was the heat-loving stuff, it is all long gone past, but we planned for that. And so the fall garden is still going full steam. As you saw by the video the other day, I am making the kimchi. And yes, what is the octagon? You asked me about the octagon. I'm unfamiliar. Yes, good morning, Val. Hello, good morning, everyone. And so I just made the kimchi, and a lot of people say, well, if the kimchi is the last thing out of the garden, what about the sauerkraut? And the truth is that good morning, Crystal, good to see you here. The truth is that I make the sauerkraut actually the first run, or the first harvest. So I plant the sauerkraut cabbages mostly in the early spring. And then, hello Sylvia, good to see you. I plant the sauerkraut cabbages in early spring, and then I harvest them early to midsummer, and that's when I make the sauerkraut. Because these fall cabbages, I will make some sauerkraut out of them, but I eat them. I mean, I'm eating, because man, right now it's such a good time, guys. Hello, good morning, Ingrid. Such a great time right now because everything has been harvested. So we've got a fully stocked shelves, okay? We got... Yes, Val says, can't wait to start the mushrooms. It's coming soon. And I'm going to show you some super cool, I'm going to show you the mushrooms. Good morning, Bryce. Good to see you. And so I will typically do the sauerkraut in that first run because it's going to last all year, no problem. I mean, it stays shelf stable basically in a cool environment for many months. And then these fall ones I eat, and it's such a bountiful time because we've got potatoes that have been harvested. We've got cabbage. I'm eating potatoes, cabbage, and onions and garlic every day, okay? I mean it every single day. So the Educating Humanity says, what does your shirt represent? Yes, this is the eternal sun of my ancestors, and it represents wisdom and positivity, and it represents the path to purity. And so that is what we're all about here. And so, good morning, call me Ishmael, good morning, first time I made it to live, great to see you, thanks Viking, yes, you're very welcome, my friend. Mohammed Ibrahim, good morning to everyone, good morning to you too. You look cool today, is it cold there? Can let us be started now, waiting for mushrooms too. Great, because I'm about to show you some super cool mushrooms. So yes. Thank you. I think you mean I look cold? Well then yes, it is actually cool here, and I'm really going a long time without turning the heat on. Although I got to turn on just a little bit now. My favorite heat of all time is when I lived in the mountains of Northern California and we used exclusively wood stoves. It's just the best type of heat. Forced air heat, it works, but there's something about the actual vibrations of the heat of the wood, the radiant wood. Yeah, let me know. I mean, if you've got a wood stove and you had to go to something else, I guarantee you yearn for the heat of the wood stove. Maybe you don't yearn for the upkeep, but maybe you do. You know, or the effort involved, but the heat is just so much better. But anyways, yeah, so it's pretty cool in here. Yeah, definitely. Elena Saucier, happy day to all. Hope your day is going well. Namaste. Namaste, my friend. Yes. You know, some people ask me, why do you do this? Because it just makes sense. Because when traveling through all these countries, like India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, and Thailand, and all of these places, they do this because it's the unifying symbol. The two halves becoming one. It's saying the one in me recognizes the one within you. Yes, despite our personality differences or any kind of differences whatsoever, the one in me recognizes the one in you. And that is very, very important to me. And it just instinctually feels really good. Yes. So that's the namaste. Okay. It's not just you know, it's not just habit. Well, it's habit by now, but it originated with very solid roots. Okay. Ingrid says, I agree, wood stoves are the best. Oh yeah, you knew that. Taida, I grew up with wood heat and miss it terribly. Yes, it's so comforting. The human is hardwired to feel comfort from a fire. That is why we can look into a fire. Have you ever noticed this? Sitting around a fire, the flames, boom, boom, are hypnotizing. And there's many reasons, but one reason is because it's been hardwired into us through thousands of years that a fire equals survival. So the draw, the pull of the fire is hypnotizing to the person on a primal level because we need the fire, or we have needed the fire to survive. And so it's deeply ingrained in our DNA. Wood heat just gets deeper into you. That's a good way to say it. It warms your bones. The forced air is just blowing hot air all over you. And it's all right. But I'd rather not. So, Diamitri, good morning from Australia here, from Karma and I. 3 in the morning here. Om, Hari Om. Yes, my friend. 3 in the morning. Well, thank you very much for taking me along in your either late night or your insomnia. So good, glad that you're here. And Eric, good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon to you too, my friend. Bryce, just tried your fermented tomatoes recipe on some green tomatoes. Have you ever tried that? I'm curious to see how they turn out. I have not tried that, and I do not know why I've not tried that, but a light bulb just went on. I still got some green potatoes out here, or tomatoes, not potatoes. You don't want green potatoes. Some green tomatoes. I may very well try that. I would imagine they would be much more sour. I mean, they're already quite sour, but if you look through some of the comments and stuff, but people have tried those, the fermented tomatoes, and they're addicted. I mean, people love the fermented tomatoes. It's something you would never, when I first started making them, I was not able to keep them long enough. It's like, okay, these tomatoes will keep all winter long, which they will, but they never made it. They never made it more than a few weeks, especially if you're making the cheese as well, the Lab's cheese. Then you put that on there, a dollop on there, and oh man, yes, it's so delicious. Let's see. Good afternoon, Double A. Laura says, hello, my partner loves your videos. Ah, that's good. Hopefully you do too. Thank you for saying that. The forced air heat dries me out. Absolutely. It's like it's like the winds off the Sahara Desert. And I remember this because I rode my bicycle through Morocco, and I felt the desert winds in the face for many countless eons of time, it felt like. Let's see, the secret squirrel. Nate, can I put mushrooms from my yard into my liquid fertilizer bucket? Yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can put mushrooms from the yard into the liquid fertilizer if you wish. But I'll be showing you guys in the springtime how to inoculate your area with wine cap mushrooms. So no need to spread random mushrooms throughout your garden right now, even though that's still good. But if you want to, in the springtime, I'll show you guys how to do it. We will inoculate the woody areas of our garden or the woods, or where the garden transitions to the woods or a shady area. There's all different kinds of places that we can put it. But this, so we will inoculate all of the bare areas in the garden with the wine cap mushroom, and the wine cap is delicious. And so look forward to that. So there's no need to jump the gun on inoculating stuff with mushroom spores yet. Okay, so just gonna say that. Let's see, tomatoes, nature's nicotine. Yeah, maybe. Freeze the green tomatoes. Yes, you can do that. Jimmy Skevarp Michaeloff. Love from Sweden. Yes, love from Midwestern USA. Let us see here. Greetings from sunny Spain, Nicola. Beautiful early evening here. Been making your fertilizers. Fantastic. I heard Spain was really, really dry this year. Is that true where you were at? I remember riding my bicycle from Madrid south through Andalusia and went to Toledo and Cordoba, all different kinds of places. It was so beautiful. Very much a climate. It reminded me very much of Greece. Very arid, but still lots of stuff being produced. So was Spain really dry this year? Let's see. Wood stoves. Oh yes, could start a fire forever. Good morning. Good morning. And Successful says, hi from the UK. No heating on here yet. Trying to see how long I can last without it. Could be tough after 10 years in southern Spain. Oh, yeah, definitely. It thins the blood. I know this from traveling. When I lived on the island of Koh Tao, which is in the Gulf of Thailand, it was when I first like marooned, I called it, on the island, and I became a scuba diving instructor. I was diving every single day in the water there, and I was diving like 4 dives a day, every day for months on end. And at first I could just go in there with my BCD, no shirt, just board shorts and the BCD, the mask and stuff. And so, but then after time went on, that it started to get cold to me. I started to feel cold and then I started to feel a little bit chilly sometimes. And so, because the blood thins. It's very different. You adapt to the climate. So it was tough to kind of come back to the cold environments. But then now, of course, I've totally rewired everything through the cold training, my friends. Yes. Thanks for the videos and live chats. Love from Corfu, Greece. Ah, yes. I lived in the Ionian Sea in a small village called Palaros, next to the Lefkada. Yes? If you recognize that area. That is where I spent 2 seasons as a scuba diving instructor. So, would inoculating wild mushrooms work on wood chips? Birch, bolete, for example? Absolutely, it will. And that is what we'll be doing. Birch is a very good one. So in the springtime, we will be inoculating the wine caps into mulch piles, basically. And they're just going to proliferate and proliferate. But then also we're going to try our hand at inoculating some logs. So we'll show you that kind of stuff as well. Now, I can't believe I made during live class. Hi, Nate. Hello, Esmas. Educating. I tried looking up the eternal sun. There is no info. Do you have any? It looks interesting. It looks like a symbol from Octagon Group. Well, it might be. It's also known as the Kolovrat. Yes, Kolovrat with a K, like that. Although that's not its deepest origins, of course, but that will kind of explain some of it. And like so many symbols, it's been hijacked over the years by certain groups, possibly by certain extreme groups, but we don't have to give that any energy at all, because this is the symbol of my ancestors, which is for prosperity and wisdom and health. When did you come back to civilization? How long ago? Well, it was not all that long ago, but it feels like 5 lifetimes. It would be in 2018, really. 18, 19. So it's been 4 years, I've been in this place 3 years now. It's just, man, it's crazy. So, yeah, that's when because I was living in Northern California for the first 7 years, well, there for 7 years. And then for the first few years, it was, I would travel for 6 months of the year and then come back during the summer growing season and grow stuff during the summertime, and then travel during the off season. But the last handful of years, the last 3 or 4 years, it was full time on the mountains. There was no other traveling. So, Elena Saucier, your channel is what I've been waiting for. I've been gardening since the mid-70s, organic. OG, huh? I'm learning so much. Thank you. Well, I'm really glad that you are here and that you have let us know that. So it's really cool because even if you've been gardening for, you know, a long time like that, since the 70s, then you can still learn new stuff. And that is like the greatest gift in itself, to learn new things. Especially if you already know a lot of things, then when you find a source of like, when you see new things and you learn new things, oh yeah, it's like delightful, you know? It's like a good flavor. So yes, and guys, I just started up my other channel again. Just released a video yesterday, which is essentially sort of like this, you know? So it's just a flow of consciousness. That's what all those videos are going to be from now on. And we can talk about a lot more topics. So this one, we stick to gardening for the most part, but other things bleed into it, of course. But on the other channel, just Nate Murray, we can do all different kinds of things. The cold training, the breathing techniques, visioneering, manifesting, those, all that kind of stuff. Anything spirituality, if you're into that kind of stuff, then check it out over there. So you can ask questions there as well. This channel, we're keeping straight to the growing the goods, okay? Because it's still, in my opinion, the most important thing you can be doing is growing your own food. I mean, it's what humans have done for thousands of years. And in many ways, it's the most human activity you can be doing is growing your food. And so we must get back to that. I still feel this is very important, and it will be the way of the future, that we decentralize the production of the food. Because you see, it's become more and more centralized over the years. The people have moved to the cities and they've given up farming for industry. And so we have all this industry, but then there's fewer and fewer farmers growing more and more and more area. Okay, and that is what we call the centralization. And then there's fewer and fewer companies involved, so that it's in the hands of fewer and fewer people. This is like monopolization, and you cannot, of the food supply, okay, if you have monopolization of automobiles, okay, that's one thing, you know, that's terrible, monopolies, the power that they have. But of food production, now we're in big trouble, you know, because that's obviously very important. And so because throughout most of history, and I'm sure you guys know this, maybe you do, but maybe you don't. Throughout most of history, most people were farmers. That was the number one activity, was farming. And all the farmers made all their own inputs. They made things utilizing manures and different composting techniques, different fermentation techniques very exactly like the ones that you have learned on this channel. And for thousands of years, that was how everyone did it. And they returned everything to the land. The human waste was not so poisonous and so you know, taboo and absurd like it is now. It was utilized for the gift that it is. Or in that state, when you're eating, when you live in that kind of lifestyle, it's different than it is now. But yes, and you return everything back to the earth, and the animals return things for you. That's one reason the cow in India was so sacred. And I spent so much time in India trying to understand this, you know, because in the West, oh, the cows are sacred in India, because people don't understand. They don't understand it. When you live with the land like that, okay, the cow, and I observed this and I saw this. So the cow in India, when throughout their history up until recently, they would have all of the packaging is in things that were like banana leaves, pressed banana leaves into bowls, bamboo forks or spoons, whatever it is, even though they eat with their hand mostly. Everything was biodegradable up until just 50 or 100 years ago. Even drinking vessels were clay that, boom, you throw it down. And so they throw the waste sort of into the streets, and the cows walk along and they eat all of that stuff. And the cows consume all of the waste, and then they release out the other end the absolute most perfect soil that there is. The cow manure from actual cows eating a natural diet, not the industrial, cow schwitz kind of thing. Not from those cows, but from natural grass or organically fed cows. What they produce is one of the greatest soils that you can get. You can grow anything with that, and it boosts the fertility of the land. And they would smash out the cow patties, dry them out in the sun, and then use it for cooking fuel. I know that sounds a bit absurd, but if it's done right, it's a good type of fuel when there's no wood around and they're in the desert. So it's incredibly life-giving, the cow. And you would get the milk and the curd and the yogurt and all of this nourishment from it. So that's one reason that the cows were sacred, is because of the benefit that they bring to the regenerative lifestyle. I mean, before there was the term regenerative, that was the way you did it. You returned everything to the land, because our ancestors were the original sustainable agriculturalists, because their lives depended on the soil being more fertile, being as fertile or more. And so they would never consider doing anything that would harm the fertility of the soil, because they understood the natural cycle of things, and they would know that harming the soil, I am directly harming my grandson, directly harming the future generations. And that, we're hardwired not to do that. And so they would say, well, we would never dump petroleum-based chemicals on the soil. Absolutely, under no circumstance would we ever do this type of farming, exact type of farming that we're doing now. Because why would we do that to our future? And the answer still remains, why would we do that to our future? Because we become disconnected from it. We don't see it. We don't understand that that's what's happening because of the centralization. So I'm bringing it full circle and saying, because of that fewer and fewer people are the farmers, we don't see it anymore. Most people have no idea. Food to them comes from the store. Food just comes from the store, if you ask them. Meat and stuff like that, they've been totally disconnected from all of that. And so they don't think of soil as life. The connection has been severed, that I am soil. My physical body is rented from the earth. My physical body is the soil rearranged into different molecules and temporarily animated with the breath of life. Temporarily. And then all of these molecules will return back to soil. And so that's how important it is. That's how inseparable soil health is from our life and well-being. That's how important it is. And so I don't know what's going to make people re-see that. Obviously some of us do, obviously. But I think that it will come either by force, because the soil will no longer yield for people. And we'll say, oh man, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to eat? Because people have lost the skills. People don't know how to grow food. And most people, they think that, I'll just have a little garden and I'll be able to feed myself. Yeah. If you've ever tried to feed yourself from your garden, man, you'll be astonished at how much it actually takes. So you're not just going to have a little garden and, I eat from my garden. Yeah, you can have some snacks from your garden and you can offset it. I mean, I'm growing a ton of stuff in multiple different locations, and I'm probably still no higher than 70%, 60% really, because I eat meat and stuff. So, but, well, there's rant number one. So, let me see some of these questions, guys. Reading Secret Life of Plants right now. Highly suggested. Best book I've read in a while. Change your brain. Secret Life of Plants. Oh man, I am, someone put that in the comments, please. The actual comments once the video is over, so that I can remember that. I'm definitely going to read that. How do you decide how much to plant? That's actually one of the trickiest and most important things, okay, is how much do you plant? Because you have to decide what is important to you. How much of what do you eat? You have to actually make a list. And this is what I do when I go for consulting with people. This is one of the most important things I like to get accomplished and organized with them. You have to understand what it is that you are going to eat. Don't be growing stuff that you're not going to eat. And then you have to decide How important is the space? So the space can be utilized in a number of ways. But unfortunately, a lot of people, just because they don't know, is they take their space and they're growing rabbit food, what I call rabbit food, okay? Because it's not calorie food. They're growing a bunch of different lettuces, maybe some kales and some spinach. They say, oh, I love salads. And that's great, okay? That's cool too. I mean, go ahead and do that. But don't think that you're going to offset your actual caloric intake in any way with those kind of plants. You have to be growing the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, the beans, the peas, okay? Dried beans, dried peas, squash, of course, the winter squash, all of that stuff has to be grown. And so there's a lot of considerations, guys, a lot of considerations. But find out what you want to grow first, okay? Tirza, can you replace fish ferment with leftover fermented from processing game and livestock? It doesn't, I get that question a lot, and the process will work. Yes, you can use entrails or the byproduct or whatever it is. You can compost anything, okay? And you can make the liquid compost with it. It takes a lot longer to break down, and it doesn't produce the same type of product. The fish proteins are very simple molecules for the bacteria to break down, and they're very easy for the plants to use that type of proteins and amino acids. So it's actually best if you have the entrails, you know, the guts, if you have that from game or from your butchering, whatever it is, it's actually best to just straight up compost that stuff. So compost it with a very rich source of nitrogen. Wood chips, bury it within wood chips, or bury it within leaves, or bury it within hay or straw, really. Hay, so many weeds in hay. But yeah, you want to compost the entrails with a rich source of nitrogen. That would be better than digesting it in the liquid fashion and spraying it onto the plants. I mean, some more testing needs done, okay? So I would need more, when I get the homestead, you know, then I'll put all this stuff to the test, and we'll make different there'll be test plots galore, and we'll know for sure, because I'll take some deer entrails and ferment it in the bucket style, and then I'll do a certain number of plants only with that as compared to only with the fish, and then we'll know for sure, you know. But that's my answer on that. Fish and kelp products are going to contain more trace minerals. That can be very true. Kelp, definitely. If you get fresh seaweed, guys, I don't know about kelp meal and stuff like that. I mean, sure, but we're still having to buy and process stuff, and I don't know its source or anything. But fresh kelp, absolutely, very beneficial. That cabbage from your kimchi video was impressive. Oh yeah, man, the cabbage, and I tell you guys, that's a good one to grow in the method of with the landscaping fabric. I had really good success growing those that way this year, because it gets old having to weed so much and stuff like that. And this area that I had, I didn't want to have to weed because it's right up against the neighbor's fence, and I didn't want it growing up with a bunch of weeds again, and so. The landscaping fabric, and I'll begin putting links in the description, because it's on Amazon to find that stuff. They're all the time out of it, and you never know if you're getting the good stuff or not. But I've kind of found a link to some good stuff, so I'll be putting that in the descriptions. But the landscaping fabric, you get the heavy duty stuff, the 5.3, not the 3.5, and every 3 feet. You burn the hole in it, and I'll show you guys this spring how we do it. And then you just plant one of the Chinese cabbage or cabbages or whatever else it is, really. And it thrives. It loves that. No competition. And I never had to water that area. I never had to do anything to it. It just grew perfectly. And you saw it was rock solid, you know, so, and full of flavor. Noble Enchant. Where are you located now? Will the homestead be in that same general area? Just curious. Just found you yesterday. Oh, great. Loving your content, and thank you. I am half Norwegian. Haha, okay, brother. So we share some kind of distant ancestry in some way, possibly. Let's see here. What is the... Oh, sorry. Yes, the general area, it could be, yeah. I'm in northern Indiana right now. I would think, you know, somewhere around here, maybe, or a little bit into Michigan, you know, right along the east coast of Lake Michigan is a really great area, all the way up from well, Grand Rapids, anywhere to Traverse City, all that area. I love that area, and it grows things really well. They still get harsh winters, which, you know, harsh winters are a double-edged sword. So, I mean, when I lived in Northern California, it was very mild. You know, the Pacific coast is very mild, and so the growing season really was over the winter time when everything rained and everything came to life and it was nice and cool and it was just so wonderful. And the redwoods would soak up all the water. I lived right in a redwood grove, and so it was real foggy and overcast all winter, but a beautiful overcast, not a dreary overcast, just a gorgeous overcast where everything was bursting with life. And I felt the vibration of things living like that. The life force was just like, it was in the air. It was like, it was like electrifying the air, okay? And but that also has its own, you know, then the summertime would come and it would not rain one time for 6 months straight. I mean, not once. Everything turns totally crispy brown. And so that presents its own whole sets of challenges. You have to be on the water storage, on the water game. You have to be on, you know, it's a whole different ball game in that sense. As opposed to here, it pretty much just rains. It didn't really this year that much, but it pretty much just rains enough. I don't have to water. You know, you don't have to water anything. That would never happen in Northern California. You have to water during the summertime. You have to irrigate. You know, and also the winters, harsh winters, it's like a reset button. It kills everything. All the stuff falls to the ground, the leaves, the bugs, and all that stuff, and it's just gone for 5-6 months, you know, 4 or 5 months, we'll say. And then you get the snow and all of that stuff, and you get to focus on other things. You get to focus on, you're not spending as much time out, not nearly as much time outside, and you focus more on the interior, the home things, the learning new skills, you know, the growing indoors, and the things with people, you know, just a whole different, it really changes things having a harsh winter. It changes the vibration and the energy of your life. And so I don't mind it, you know, and especially if once I get the homestead, you know, I'll have animals to be taken care of and a pond and all of that kind of stuff. And definitely I'll be doing the dug-in greenhouse, you know, we'll be doing the type of greenhouse that we will not have to heat. And that's very important. So we will bury half of it underground. So all that kind of stuff, you know. So that's a long answer, a long rant to the question, would I do the homestead here? Now, probably. Just because my family's around here, you know. And after traveling for 10 years, it's really nice to be back. It's nice to be around family. That's very nice. You know, although I made all kinds of non-blood type family on the road. Tons, I mean, close. I've got countless brothers and sisters from the road. Make no mistake about that. But it is also nice to be with your blood family while everyone's alive and healthy. See, I came back and my mom and my dad and my stepdad and my brother are all here and everyone's healthy right now. And so I'm just enjoying this time because that's not always going to be the case. I know that, you know. So I love the natural rhythm of Michigan weather. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You're in Mission. Tatey? Am I saying that right? Taita? Wallapini. That's right. John Doe. That's the name of it. Wallapini. I live in the tail end of the Rocky Mountains in New Mexico, USA. 6,400 feet, eh? Yeah, see? That would present a whole different ballgame. So you're obviously very conscious of the water use, and it's a whole different... But certain things are different. The way that the soil food web functions, the way that plants photosynthesize, the nutrient cycle, all that kind of stuff is still the same. All that kind of stuff is foundational to anything that is growing anywhere for the most part. And so once we have that real foundational understanding to the core, then it doesn't really matter where we go because we understand. And only the practices, only the way that you arrange everything has to be different. That's the only difference, which is vast, but that's important. See, I think everyone knows that I'm on the live stream, and so I'm just getting blown up with text. But they must think that's funny. So, but that's why I had to switch to this other device. Okay, hard to believe. I'm on early day 5 of the Master Cleanse over here in New Zealand. Feeling good. Hard to believe. Congratulations, my friend. You are doing one of the greatest things you can be doing for yourself. Okay, the Master Cleanse is phenomenal. I just had one of you guys that, well, he was just a viewer, but now he's a friend because I went down there and had interaction, had lunch with them. It was very nice. And he just did 21 days on his first Master Cleanse ever. And he went to the doctor beforehand and then after, and all of his vitals improved. The doctor was skeptical, but shocked at the results. And so the low blood pressure was normal. And he says the pressure in the joints, everything, he feels so good. And he's like 62, 64, something like that. And so, guys, it just works. If you want to do something really, really good for yourself, do the Master Cleanse, okay? It's like if you had even if you had a Ferrari, a supercar, you know, if you never changed any of the fluids or the air filter or the oil or any of that, eventually it would start running like shit, even a Ferrari. And so this is the analogy for the Master Cleanse. You clean out all that stuff and recharge the filters, and then you're running top notch. Crystal, after being here in the Ozarks, I am missing the soil and rains of northern Indiana. The soil? What do you mean? The rain. So it doesn't rain much there in the Ozarks. Is that right? Huh. We didn't have, see, last year was really good, really lush year. That's why we had such a great harvest of potatoes and stuff, because it was cool and it was a lot of rain. Every week it rained, a nice soft rain. I mean, all summer long. But then this year we went like 6 weeks without a drop of rain, and it was like 90 degrees, and that's hot for here. 90 degrees and super humid, okay? We're having 90% humidity. So it was just like, oh man. Paulina, taking time with the family, very important. Time goes by so fast. It goes by so fast, man. Poof, just like that. And then you're wondering, man, I wish I could just call my mom. You know, and I think that too. My mom comes over and helps me do stuff sometimes, and you know, we'll have tea during a break from us working, and I'll get this sense that, you know, there will come a time someday when this right here, having tea with my mother, will be my heart's greatest desire. You know, so it just helps me to really appreciate the moment. Yeah. Okay, Rachel, I am looking forward to winter, a time to slow down, learn, and plan for next year. See, yes, you understand. So the people that live with the winter, it's you just find other ways, and if you embrace it and you don't, oh, I hate the winter time, I got a shovel and everything's cold and nothing grows. You know, well, okay, that's one way to look at it. And if you choose to continue with that mindset, then you will probably resist winter and you will feel not thriving all winter long. But if you instead flip the switch and change your mindset and say, you know what? It's a time to nurture and a time to go within, and a beautiful time of coming together, a time of regeneration, you know? So you couldn't expect a flower to bloom, you know, all year. It goes in cycles. Everything comes in cycles. And so we embrace it and we learn inner skills. We learn stuff like growing the mushrooms. That'll lead me into that topic. Okay, guys, look, this is not the main one I want to show you. This is my second flush, okay? So the mushroom video, the first mushroom video will be coming probably Monday, day after tomorrow, where I'm just going to explain the life cycle of the mushroom and how all the terms, okay, because it can be really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. And that's my mission. I'm going to introduce people that have no concept or maybe some concept of mushrooms on how to grow them. Okay, it is not beyond your reach. It is simple and you can do it. And so this system, this is mega simple. It's going to show us just the right certain conditions, okay, and the life cycle of the mushroom. But now, if some of you have jumped the gun, that's totally fine, and you've cut this open, and you've started the thing. Now, it takes a couple of weeks before you get the first flush. It'll take 2 to 3 weeks before you really, and this is still a ways away. The first one was just real big. This is still a ways away. But here's the thing, you want to make sure that it stays moist. Mushrooms need high humidity, 80% or beyond. Now, if you can do that in a number of ways, which I'll show you in the video the second video next week. I'll be showing you how to make high humidity chambers. You have to do that, okay? But this is all part of it. We have to mimic the conditions of early spring forest. Yeah, think nice, sort of cool and damp, but with some type of airflow. So if yours is getting real brown and drying out, then you have to put a bag over it. You'll spray it, of course, but you can put a bag over it. A clear trash bag. I'll show you methods of doing that, but we want to poke a few holes in it and leave the bottom open, and maybe put it on like a cinder block and then put the bag over it. And that's going to help keep that moisture in there, okay? But once you find the exact right way, you're gonna love it. Or if you just go ahead and do immediately the way that I'm gonna show you, you're gonna be an immediate professional, okay? I mean, you're gonna immediately have success and your friends are gonna come over and go, what the hell? And they're gonna look at that and they're gonna say, how are you doing that? Not this one exactly, but once we start growing them in the buckets, okay? So guys, brace yourself, okay? I wanna show you this. This is what I mean by the buckets, okay? So get ready. Let me see here. I need to find a better, I'm always complaining about the microphone. Okay, here is the, yes, and we will be soon growing the mushrooms like this. And these are the yellow oyster mushrooms, and we are growing it out of the bucket. Can you see? And these have just started to fruit about 4 days ago, and so they are really, the mushroom is so incredible. One thing that is so incredible about the mushroom is that, they're the opposite of plants in terms of the plant consumes carbon dioxide and releases oxygen, whereas the fungi consumes oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. Also, a huge fascinating difference is that the mushroom, so plants grow by dividing cells. The cell divides, and that's how the plant tissue grows, okay? But mushrooms grow in a different way. They get, I don't see any on here, but all of the cell division that happens within the body of a mushroom happens within its first pinning phase. When the mushrooms are just this big, there's already as many cells as there's going to be. And so then once they start to fruit like that, boom, they swell with water and nutrients. And that's how they grow from being this big to being super huge within just a couple of days. They just swell. They've already divided all the cells. That's just fascinating to me, okay? So these are still a day or two away from harvest, but these are gonna be delicious. And the very first flush I'm going to ceremoniously give to my friend Elsa, because without her enthusiasm and suggestions, I probably would have not gotten back into mushroom growing, because I used to grow them years ago. But I don't know why I didn't even think to be taking you guys on the indoor mushroom growing journey this winter. But thanks to her suggestion, that's what we're doing. So I just fired, it rekindled. It's wonderful when one of your friends rekindles something that you're passionate about. Then you find that passion again, because passion is so nice. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is such an absolutely wonderful sensation. It actually the word enthusiasm comes from the Greek root. It's like enthusiasmo, something like that, within the Spirit of God, within the Spirit of the divine, because it's a divine sensation. It's divinity flowing through you. That's what true enthusiasm is. So, there's my mushroom rant, okay? Should I come up with another word than rant? I don't know. So yes, but some things that you'll have to make sure, there will definitely be a couple troubleshooting videos, because I know a lot of people might not have success straight off the bat, and that's totally fine. That's understandable. That's the learning experience. But if you follow the video I'm going to show you, and you get the supplies, and you set it up the way I've set it up, you will have immediate success. So if you're into like having good quality, organically grown, high vibrational mushrooms, you know, with positivity infused into them and all kinds of health benefits, then you're going to want to just make the investment and set up your little area so that you can give the mushrooms away to your friends. You can give, you're giving them health. You're giving them cognitive sharpness, cognitive abilities, and what greater gift? I mean, one of the greatest gifts. Said, here, my friend, so I'll show you guys, we'll be growing these lion's mane. Once this is done, we're gonna inoculate a bucket with it. So we're gonna be growing lion's manes out of the bucket as well. We're gonna be getting a bunch of these lion's manes fruiting. And I'll show you guys how to turn this into medicine, straight up medicine, okay? Because this protects the mycelial sheath around the nerve endings. When your brain communicates, with the way that your cells communicate is through electricity basically, and each cell or each nerve or whatever neuron is covered in like a sheath that protects it, insulates it from other electrical impulses. Okay, think of like the wrapping around a wire. When you are wiring something, you have to peel away the insulation, but just the tip of it is free of the insulation. The rest of it is wrapped in the insulation. And so in the same way, the electrical impulses in our brain are insulated in the same way. That's a good way to explain it, I think. And dementia and cognitive decline and all kinds of these conditions have to do with that insulation degrading and decomposing. Okay, so then the brain sort of, the connections aren't firing like they should. And I'm oversimplifying it, okay? But this is pretty much how it works. And so the lion's mane, okay, is good at protecting that sheath around the wire, essentially, the hot wire that is the nerve. And so that's why they're so good. That's one reason that they're so good for cognitive function, is because they help to protect and rebuild that sheath around the nerves. So it will help stave off dementia and stuff like that, okay? So yeah, that's why we got to do it. And that's why we got to give it away to our friends, our loved ones. We will grow them for them, okay? To eat fresh, of course, but also we're going to extract that essence and we're going to give it to them as a gift, okay? Because it's so valuable that the only way that it can be given is by gift, you know, so. Let's see, they say lion's mane helps MS patients. Yes, absolutely, my friend. That is precisely what we're talking about. It also helps with autoimmune type diseases, where the immune system has essentially it's gone rogue. That's autoimmune diseases. Essentially, the immune system goes rogue and it starts, instead of just going towards virus cells, it will go towards healthy tissue and start deteriorating healthy tissue. And it can't discern anymore what is an invader and what is friend and what is foe. So that's, in a nutshell, the autoimmune type diseases. And so it will begin doing friendly fire, you know? And so that is one thing that the mushrooms are going to help with, and is that helps to prevent and stave off against all of that. All right, so that's what that is. And I hope that you guys are on board, you know, because a lot of gardening channels will have to go to sleep over the winter time. You know, they'll go into hibernation, or I'm not sure what they do, but I know that I make videos about like what I'm doing or what we would be doing, you know, at the moment for the most part. So there's not, you know, I want to move into these kind of videos over the winter time because that's what I'm doing over the winter. So you can do it too. I'm learning to grow lion's mane because my husband's dad has early onset Alzheimer's and I want to help him and help prevent it for my husband and kids. Absolutely, my friend. This is very important. And we will grow a bucket full of lion's mane, and then we can eat them fresh. They taste like fresh crab meat. They're delicious if you prepare them right. Also, we will harness the power through a tincture. Also, I will show you guys how to encapsulate them, the essence. And so we can give a bottle of them to our, to the person of choice. And that's given them such a greater gift than just a bottle of herbs. It's, and what it does, the energy of saying, you know, here, I care about your cognitive, functioning, and I care about your quality of life. So I've done this for you, and that is that energy in itself is healing. That energy in itself is very healing and positive. So let's see. What do lion's mane taste like? They can taste it. Like many mushrooms, it will take the flavor of the way that you prepare it for the most part. So lion's mane is also known as the vegan, super vegan crab meat substitute. So we can pull it apart, and I'll show you in the video next week how I did it. We can pull it apart, or we can just flatten it out and then fry it with the butter and the garlic, and it just tastes like mushroom. I mean, it's so good. But also we can pull it apart and put it into a stew. I made chanko nabe, which is a Japanese sumo wrestler hot pot stew, where you make the broth, and I get really into it. I mean, I get really into it. So I'm making the broth out of dashi and kombu and different kinds of mushrooms, brewing that for a long time. And then you add the vegetables, and a little bit of meat and stuff like that. You remove them, so you boil it in the actual broth. And then the very last thing that I'll add is the mushrooms, and then I'll boil those, in the broth, stew broth, for 10-15 minutes like that at a rapid boil. And then I take them out, and they've absorbed the flavor of the broth, which is what it's all about, because you make this just delicious broth. And that way they taste like just delicious. So let's see here, my friend. Yes, SC says, I want to grow lion's mane for my son who does suffer from MS. Absolutely, my friend. That is a very noble endeavor, and you will be doing that. Keep it up, sharing your knowledge. Yes. Thank you for the encouragement. And see, the last video I made, the kimchi video, I knew that not many people are into kimchi for whatever reason. I guess because they haven't traveled, maybe, or they haven't experienced it. But man, once you experience it, it's delicious. But I knew that video was not going to reach a lot of people. And so, yeah, it was like, I was making it, I was like, okay, well, and then, yeah, it totally tanks. It was only like the lowest performing video of all of them that I've released, but you can't, I've just come to accept, they can't all just be blockbusters, you got to just do, because some people are going to find things interesting, and others are not, but you got to do it for all of them. Because, okay, Americans don't take to the sour part of our palate. That's actually a very good way to put it. They don't. That's what it is. That's one thing, definitely. The sour part of the palate is not very American. Yeah, I can't. We don't have anything like that, really. What would be comparable in the American diet, in the standard American diet? Sad, standard American diet. Yeah, we really don't. Even sauerkraut is like it's German, it's so foreign, Let's see. Ahmed says, hey Nate, can I keep the barrel of fish hydrolysate under the sun? Okay, fish hydrolysate, not really. You should put that in the shade. Okay, that's the one. If it's the J-Dom, the fish where we're just letting it ferment and stuff, then you just put it right out with the rest of the garden. Okay, but if it's the hydrolysate where we add the labs and the molasses, then we don't want that to get too hot. So we will put that in a shaded area. Okay. Bryce says, love the kimchi. Bryce is very American. So please keep making the fermented foods video. I can't wait to see the fermented poblano pepper sauce. Yeah, oh man, it's really phenomenal, but I almost, I got a little overwhelmed this year. And so just because the channel's new, trying to make videos, and so I didn't really film the poblano hot sauce like I wanted to. So that might have to be a next year thing. But the next time you come over, Bryce, though, I'll give you a little dish of the, because I made like gallons of it. So yeah, of the fermented poblano smoked hot sauce. And what else was I gonna say about that? Yes, Josie. Some videos become blockbusters when people's interests shift, like with mushrooms trending now. Yes, that's true. That's very true. That, but I don't know if any of you guys are like YouTubers and stuff, but if you, when you release a video, okay, the way that it performs, so it tells you, I mean, you get all the analytics as far as how many people visited, what the average view time is, how many clicks, how many return viewers. You get every tiny little detail about every video that you make. It's mind-blowing how dissected all the analytics are, okay? So the one of the first ones is the ranking. So it tells you from 1 to 10, 1 being the greatest and 10 being the worst, how the performance of that video is doing based upon the running average from the last like 10 videos or 20 videos. And so it tells you within about 3 hours how that video is ranked. So based upon the initial reaction, it's ranked 6 of 10, or it's ranked 9 of 10, or it's ranked 1 of 10, which is real good. Means a lot of people have watched it right away. But then I found that based upon how the video does in the first 4 hours is how the video performs the rest of its time. It stays at whatever it's ranked. And so it's so important that people, as soon as they see the video, they have to click on it, as soon as the video is released. So it's because those videos perform immediately the best. Once in the first 4 hours, if it's ranked number 2 or number 3, it just stays ranked number 3 for the next 4 days, and continues to perform super well. Or if it's ranked 10 of 10, like the kimchi video, it continues to perform 10 of 10, super poor. Something about the algorithm, we can't understand the algorithm. It's not human, it's AI, in my opinion, is actually algorithmic intelligence more than artificial, So anyways, don't know why I said that, but just because, yeah. So if you want to help out the channel, it's super cool to go ahead and as soon as you see the video, just click on it and let it play through. Even if you're going to watch it later or something like that, or even if you don't need to understand the knowledge, if you want to help a brother out and help the channel, help us all out, help reach more people, then go ahead and just click on it and let it play. I would appreciate that, okay? As soon as you see it. Mick, thank you, my friend, $10. And it's got some kind of laughing little, looks like an egg of a caterpillar, cabbage moth. Is that what that is? Thank you, my friend. Let's see here. Ahmed says, when exactly do you make these live sessions? I was lucky to find it by chance. Now, I would be happy to know exactly when you start live chat every week and specific time so I can be there. Fantastic, my friend. Yes, I'm sticking to, we do it every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time. That's New York time. So I'll just be here every Saturday, 12 noon. I'm guys, in school, I had 11 and a half years of perfect attendance. I know that seems crazy and sounds weird to me now, but at the time, I mean, that was my mission. I was going to school, and so I never missed a day of school my whole life up until the time came when I got expelled forever, halfway through my senior year. Yeah, which maybe we'll get to that. That'll be on the other channel. I'll tell all about that kind of stuff, but yeah, so but I said that to show how dedicated I am. So when I'm gonna be there when I say I'm there, okay? Let's see. I love your kimchi video. My kimchi, adding puree apple or pear into your kimchi. Yes, that is common as well. That's why I said halfway through the video, see, there's a big difference in the kimchi, and that's where a lot of people add little tiny shrimps and fish sauce and stuff. I don't get down so much with the fish sauce. I think it's because I make the fish fertilizer, and so it's just kind of, it smells the exact same and stuff. And I don't, you can hit play and go to 2 times speed. Go to 2 times speed of what? But anyways, yes, you can add whatever you want. Is the pear, some people add the pear or, I forget what the other ones are, but I'll just show you how I do that. I run amok. A lot of times the original ranking that a video has affects where YouTube puts it in the algorithm. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, is that the original, based upon the first 4 hours, the algorithm places it right there so that it only shows it to a certain amount of people, and the only thing that matters is the algorithm as far as the success of a channel. I mean, I've made content on some videos, not so much on this channel, but that I know was like super valuable content to people that they did not know, and just 120 views, and that's it, just nothing, no comments and just nothing. And I'm like, how is this not blowing everyone's mind like it blew mine when I learned it? So, anyways. There was another donation. Voitech, thank you, my friend, $10. Sour is actually the taste that nurtures the liver. That is very good knowledge, and it's ringing bells within me about. Oh man, okay, I'm gonna research back into that. Yes, thank you for saying that. Sour is because there's the sweet, salty, sour, and umami basically, and plug spawn is for logs. You drill holes and put the plugs in. Yes, RK. Yeah, so plug spawn is for logs. Yeah, you drill holes and put the plugs in if you're getting the plugs. But sawdust spawn is what I prefer definitely for the log inoculation. So that we just drill the hole into the log, place the sawdust spawn into there, and put the wax over it. But we'll get into all that later. Okay, Ms. P, you can't quantify the help to society any given video may have. It might mean the world to just one person. Then is it worth it? Exactly, my friend. I understand exactly what you're saying, and my philosophy is yes, that it is worth it, because personally, I mean, I owe a lot to YouTube over the years. My awakening process and stuff, and finding teachers on YouTube, finding people that are dead now on YouTube, and being able to sit in an intimate and hear their flow of consciousness has been majorly transformative in my life over the years. And so even if I was the only person that happened to, is it worth it? I would say yeah, because it happened to me. And so it's definitely worth it. So yes, that's why we just make the videos anyways, and just don't really worry about the algorithm and the ranking of all of that stuff. If stuff's quality, you know what that is. Okay. Let's see. You can speed up the video speed. It plays 2 times speed and fast forward. Oh, right. Yes. Check out play, speed, and settings. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, some people, I like to do that too. That if they're kind of talking like this, and then they sort of take a lot of time, and they have the sort of question mark at the end of every sentence, and it's like they're not really sure about what they're saying. And so this is a mushroom from North Spore. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I put those kind of people on 2-time speed. YouTube has been an amazing tool for learning. There are a lot of videos that have disappeared in recent years. Yes, there is. Absolutely. And we won't even get into the reason why. Is flowers of sulfur 99% the same type of sulfur I can use to make Jadam sulfur? If it's 99.9% sulfur, yes. I think it's just called the flowers of sulfur. Oh man, I would have to ask me that in a comment on the video, and I will make quadruple sure. Or send me a link in the comment of that video, the sulfur video, to the exact product you're talking about. But I think I put links in the product that of the place to get it, because you got to get the exact right stuff for it to matter. And a big thing that I'm doing, because I know a lot of you want me to make the video on the wetting agent, but the wetting agent is the most complicated thing we've made so far, by far. Okay, so plus I made 29 gallons of it in the spring, and it goes a long way. But I will be making a small 5-gallon bucket batch sometime. But here's the thing, you have to get the correct type of water hardness. You cannot be just using tap water, and it won't work the same. And so that's the biggest. So I'm first showing you guys how to make this water filter that I make in order to get the exact appropriate type of hardness. That's important, because a lot of people will have too hard of water and the wetting agent will not work. It's crazy, but that's chemistry. Okay, overseas posting. Oh, okay. Overseas posting to New Zealand is too expensive. Oh, I bet, man. I bet everything's expensive getting into New Zealand. Ms. P, $5. Thank you for the tip, my friend. Keep it up. I will absolutely keep it up. You can count on that. So, And guys, let me know what kind of video content you like to see. Remember that, you know, I'm about making videos that are just sharing and spreading knowledge. So let me know what kind of video content you want to see on this channel, anything garden related, anything, you know, but the other channel, Nate Muri, so check that out as well. I started making videos there again, just yesterday I made the first one, but there we can discuss all kinds of things, okay? So we can, well, just all kinds of things. So really, if you just ask anything, it can be a good prompt for discussion, which is cool. Because I like to make the kind of videos that, well, there's certain videos like how to do something where you have to do it, where I like the videos that get to the point, okay? Get to the point, make it, use as few words as possible, and while illustrating exactly what you're talking about, okay? That's like an art form to learn how to do that. It has been for me at least. And so, that's like for how-to videos, you know, and those are like, okay, when I'm seeking out knowledge and how to do something, I want to click on it and I want you to get right to the point, please, and then show me how to do it. Don't just tell me, just show me. And those are the kind of videos I like to make about doing something. But I also like to listen to videos where I just put it on and cook dinner, or I put it on and clean the basement, or I put it on and drive an hour. You know, and I don't care if they're an hour long or 2 hour, or, you know, half hour or an hour. I don't care because I want them to be that long. And those are the kind of videos also I like to make. And those will be on the other channel more. Well, that's what these are as well. It's where it's just flow of consciousness and you're learning things, and it covers a wide variety of topics and knowledge. That kind of stuff is very beneficial because I can recognize when I'm getting quality content, okay? Especially if I like the presenter, or if I can at least tolerate the presenter, you know. And sound quality is very important. So your sound quality is very important, okay? Namaste, Steve's Gilitis. Yes, my friend. Let's see here. Keep up the unique content coming. Yes, RK, I will do that. Let me know any suggestions. Crystal, my friend, thank you very much. $10. You've been very engaged and generous with the channel. Thank you. My garlic isn't storing well this year. Uh-oh, let's see. I believe it is due to mites. I've never had this happen in the past. Do you have any advice regarding the prevention of mites? Whoa. It has mites in storage? Because that will be an issue, big time issue, especially if you're going to do anything else during the winter time. Now, there are things you can do if the mites are indoors. There are things you can do, like burning sulfur. When I was in Northern California, we used to do this a lot when we would get powdery mildew, because we were growing indoors in the redwoods, in the rainforest of the redwoods in the wintertime. And we would be utilizing outside ambient air to cool the rooms, to all the lights and everything. And so we would be pulling in air that is 99% humidity. And that will lead to powdery mildew very quick. And so powdery mildew and also mites, all this other kind of stuff, when you make a nice warm toasty home for them in the middle of winter, they're going to want to move in. So we would burn sulfur. And it comes in a specific, you have to get, it's cheap, but you have to get the sulfur burner. The exact type of stuff that we use for the pesticide, okay? So, and you can spray it, of course, onto the plants, but not if it's dried garlic. But you can spread the garlic out, burn the sulfur in the room real heavily, and it will microscopically settle onto the garlic. I mean, if you've got an infestation of garlic on your dried plants, which you really shouldn't have. Okay, thank you, Nate. Have to leave the video. We'll watch later. Okay, Val, thanks for stopping by, my friend. Can fish fertilizer be used for grapes for India? Absolutely, you can use the fish fertilizer for the grapes, because the fish fertilizer it's not so much about the N, P, and K. Remember that. These natural fertilizers are biologics. They're not chemical. So it's not so much about the NPK. It's about what it does to the soil biology, which is complex and beyond the scope of this explanation. But you're nourishing the biology in the soil. And so therefore you will have a balanced availability of nutrients throughout the plant's entire growth cycle. So yes. Matthew, blessings to all. Sulfur burner. Yes, sulfur burner, but that's beyond the scope of most people, though, Matt. So don't think that you need to get a sulfur burner, because you don't. unless you were trying to grow, indoors in a greenhouse, really plants that are, really sensitive to humidity and really high stakes gardening, really super high value plants, then you would burn sulfur. But other than that, you typically wouldn't. Yes, Deb Smith, God's blessing to you, Nate, and all community members. Thank you very much, Deb. Grateful for this divine relationship. Yes, Matthew, I feel you, brother. And I appreciate your engagement with the other channel as well. It's inspiring, It's a reciprocation of energy is very important. So Crystal, I think the mites damaged the bulbs while they were curing. Okay, so now they are deteriorating quickly. I was doing some research and found that mites could be the problem. Possibly. You typically shouldn't get much issue with the garlic, though. I think that you cured it improperly. Either it got too humid and then dry, or it got too dry or too moist, or it was in direct sun, or you didn't harvest it at the right time. You harvested it too late. If you harvest it too late, it will rot. Okay, and I had some of it. I left out front. Kind of because I wanted to show, I was like showing everybody the garlic when they were coming over and stuff. And I let it go too long. And then I brought it back. I was like, oh no. Because then it got real humid one time and it was like, I could just tell it was starting to get soft. So now I've put it in the basement and so it's already starting to go bad, some of it. But the stuff that I did properly, it's all good. It's all bone dry. I'm going to store all winter long, no problem. So, Mike D, love your content and your vibe. Thanks for all the wealth you share. What are your thoughts on spreading Bokashi flakes under the soil in the garden? Not pre-compost with Bokashi. Spreading Bokashi flakes. So, I get a lot of questions about the Bokashi, okay? And so, I feel like I need to start doing it again. I've only been a part of the Bokashi, but maybe I will start doing it again so that I can have some more experiential knowledge to really give results. But in theory, though, there's not much need for Bokashi flakes. If you're utilizing the JMS, you have all the microorganisms, the power and diversity of the microorganisms that you need. Bokashi is sort of in certain circumstances, it can work. Okay, it can work if you're in an apartment and you need to try and consume and compost your stuff quickly in a way, or there's certain situations, but there is not a need for the Bokashi because we're already utilizing the leaf mold, which is really, really beneficial. So while of course it will not harm anything if you do that, I'm sure it will be beneficial, but there's just not a need. Ahmed Sa, I have a mulberry tree that's like a hotel for whiteflies, and I had to inject it with glyphosate to kill the tree. Whiteflies still there after that. What should I do? Also leaf miners on tomato. I would burn it. I would burn the entire thing. Okay? That's what I would do. I would burn the mulberry bush. Because even with glyphosate, who knows that the mulberry is it's like from the demon realm. Not really, but if you're trying to get rid of it, it is. Because it will just keep coming back. So I would burn the whole tree, man. Or spray it real heavily. Because if it's not living, then spray it super heavily with the JDOM sulfur and the JDOM wetting agent, or the Castile soap, or yeah, that's what I would do. Blast it with the sulfur and then burn it. So I had a bed of garlic years ago. Oh wait, there was another part of that question. Also leaf miners on tomato. Leaf miners on tomato, yeah, you're gonna wanna spray. You can utilize the JDOM sulfur, utilize that with the wetting agent or the soap, yes. And you wanna spray that on there a couple of nights in a row to make sure that it gets in there, and then gauge the results before applying a third or fourth night. Also, you could add the any of the natural pesticides. Okay, I didn't make this video, but the Jerusalem artichoke JDOM pesticide herbal solution is really, really effective. So all of the JDOM herbal solutions are made in the same way. We boil them. Okay, so the the Korean pasque flower or the ginkgo tree or the Jerusalem artichoke. Those are three that the JDOM system highly recommends because they've been tested and they're very effective. And they are native to where they're farming. But we can grow Jerusalem artichoke here, all over the place, and I do. And I make a very effective pesticide out of it, which I'll show you a video in the spring on how to make that. I told my BFF about how fired up you're making me about microorganisms in soil, and I love it when you get all jacked up about this beautiful info. Absolutely, my friend, because the passion, flows, and the passionate recognize the passionate. It's like, yes, I recognize that within you, my friend, and I salute the passion within you. Nate, do you spray compost tea on seedlings started indoors? Well, it depends what kind of compost tea you're talking about. And what I like to do is make compost extract for the seedlings. And I made a video, the ultimate seedling fertilizer, and I still stick by that as being the most effective. And an extract is different than a tea, technically. So the compost extract is we will just take the fine compost, the real finished stuff, right from the bottom of the compost pile. And we will put it in a very fine strain mesh, much finer than cheesecloth, okay? A fine strain mesh. And we will slowly pour water over it, like rainwater, or dechlorinated water, or distilled water, or spring water, something without the killing elements in it. We will pour that over, and then we will douse the bag a few times. I use like it's a real small micron paint strainer bag. So, people will put the little, with the elastic, they'll put the strainer bag over a 5-gallon bucket and then pour paint into it or whatever. That's what I use. And then you just splash it around a few times, pull it out, and then all the goodness from there is within that liquid. And then we will fertilize, we will use that to water the seedlings. They love that. They love that. And there's no need to do anything additional to it. If you're just talking about seedlings, okay? So let's see. R Legato, in regard to your sauna, I did a general search after my comment on last week's video and found that Bitcoin can be exchanged for rubles on Binance crypto exchange. Yes, my friend, I think I saw your comment, and I very much so appreciate that you researched into that further and that you responded, because if I was trying every last bit of thing that I could figure out how to do, but it also, so I contacted the company and stuff, and it sounds like they don't want to mess with, I don't know, there's certain situation, they don't want to mess with any type of cryptocurrency at all. And so I was like, okay, well, and I'm part of this Facebook group as well that is about tent saunas and stuff. And so all these people are trying to get these saunas right now, this wood-fired tent sauna that I was trying to get. And the company, the Russian company, is just like, well, sorry, we can't because, and then no other company, like they have satellite companies in Europe, and Europe is not willing to ship to US anymore. All these companies are. So it was like, all right. But then this person turned me on to a stateside company right up in Minneapolis. And so I was like, oh, okay. So they don't have any reviews yet. They don't have any, they're just starting up. It's a couple of young guys, and they're starting up, and they're making these tent saunas, okay? And so I was like, hey, you know what? So I talked with him a long time, and I asked him all kinds of questions about it, and he answered. He was very responsive. And so I was like, hey, you know what? When I get the sauna, I will do a review on my channel for you. I will make a review video. And he was like, wow, man, that'd be great. And so so we made an exchange and stuff. And yes, so I'm going to get it from this American company. But it's not going to be till the middle of December, which is like, oh man, I want it now. I'm American, but okay, middle of December is fine. And so that will have to work. And guys, I'll just make a brief, I'll make a brief like how to keep the winter blues away. And I'll show you the sauna tent and the ice bathing all in one brief little video. Yeah, what do you think? That would be cool. And I'll be doing all kinds of that kind of stuff on the other channel, the Nate Murray channel. I'll be doing, how the wood-fired sauna and stuff, and how to do the ice bath, how to ease into the ice bath, what the overwhelming, unbelievable benefits of all of this are. how it can transform your life. That'll all be on the other channel. Oh, you live about 70 miles from Minneapolis. Ha! That's funny. I think that they're, not far from Minneapolis. The Love Waters. Hello, my dear friend. Also, come visit your friends in Hawaii. We have ice bath. Oh man, I was thinking that. I was almost thinking that. Sometime it wouldn't be for long, but I definitely could come to Hawaii. Me and my friend were thinking about that. So I will contact you further about that. Good for you, RK. Have fun. They will love fresh food. Oh, you guys are having your own conversation. Good. I encourage side conversations. Mick says you should make the saunas and sell them. Yeah, I know. If I would be more about. I think my energies are better spent doing what I'm doing, and then nurturing that, and then utilizing, just plugging in these other guys, helping them out. By saying, here's a quick review about the product. If you guys want a tent sauna, which is awesome, a wood-fired sauna that is collapsible and you can take it and it's just amazing, and then I'll just do it that way, And so I'll hook them up with that, and it's just a win-win. It's a win-win. So, and I like those kind of things. I started a food forest in the past couple of weeks, and all my neighbors are all interested and looking to start their own gardens, starting a growing fire in the hood. Yes, RK, wonderful. That is good. When people see that, they think, wow, there's something to that. And here's the secret, it's hardwired within them. They can't help but be interested. When they see someone thriving, they can't help but go, oh man, how can I thrive as well? Or when they see someone growing food, they think, oh, how can I grow food as well? Because it's hardwired within them to do this, to grow the food and to thrive, because we are designed to thrive. The human is designed to resonate. The heart and the brain resonating together in harmony. And this is what we are designed to do. And that's very attractive to people. So yes, it does not surprise me that many people want to see what you're doing. Love Waters, you're welcome anytime. Yeah, man, I'm serious. That would be cool this winter, actually. So can you give us the link for the sauna? Not yet. I mean, they're a brand new company. I'm trying to think if I want to give I don't want to give any of that out yet, but you guys will, you can just look up tent saunas. I mean, don't purchase anything yet though. I mean, you can't. I mean, good luck, because I tried in every way. But no, once I make the tent sauna video, it will be mid-December and they will have their shipment in. That's why they're waiting for supplies, the stoves. But they come with the small stainless steel wood burning stove and with the chimney flue, and it's just small. It's like for 3 to 4 people, and it gets super blazing hot. It comes with rocks. You pour water over the rocks. Man, it's sweat lodge. It's basically sweat lodge. And how I know this is so amazing is because we had a sweat lodge in California, and I would utilize this, and it was just a deeply amazing experience, living with the ability to regularly just sweat heavily in the sweat lodge, purifying like no other. I felt like I ran a marathon after going from the sweat lodge to the ice bath, sweat lodge to the ice bath. It was like running a marathon, it felt like. And you're relaxed for the rest of the day, for multiple days after that. So I would highly recommend that. We'll get way into that on the other channel, Nate Murray. It's great to give food and see people's appreciation. Absolutely, my friend. And especially the kids. The kids also have, if they're not, really, if they haven't been totally overtaken by the technology and all of that kind of modernness, then the kids will instinctually love to get their hands in the dirt and to grow stuff. They love this. And so you can nurture that. And it's very easy to nurture that just by doing what you're doing. So, and being a positive example for them, and showing, hey, we're growing food. And if food comes from the store, or we can get our food from the store. Well, yeah, you can. And that's one way to do it. But also there's a much deeper element at work here. Okay. There's a much deeper element at work when we're growing our own food. The satisfaction and the energetic exchange that comes from that is actually feeding not only our body, but our spirit. Yes, and that is very important. Shirley, just a reminder about garlic planting. Yes, what about it? Garlic planting. I think that you asked about the varieties. Oh man, that reminded me. I wanted to. So I have not. Okay, people ask me about garlic varieties. What garlic variety should I plant? Which garlic variety is the best? And here's the honest truth. I have always just went. Well, I have always just went to the co-op and got the local hardneck garlic. Okay. And whatever one the farmers markets are growing around here is already adapted to your zone. But here's the thing: is I just replant the garlic from last year. And if I can get a few different types, then that's what I do. Okay, I don't understand hard neck versus soft neck. Hard neck, oh man, I should have brought one up. But hard neck just has a hard stem coming up the center of it. Hard neck is the type that when it grows, it has the spiral, the scape. And so I love to eat them garlic scapes about the end of June, first week of July, a couple weeks before the garlic is ready to harvest. They produce these scapes that are delicious. And only the hardneck ones do that. Now, I'm trying to think. Maybe, okay, follow the Garden Like a Viking Instagram account if you have the Instagram. And I will, after this, I will make a distinction, a photo just showing you the distinction and explain it, okay? So we can do it that way. But here's the thing, guys. If you grow, okay, listen, please. If you grow a type of garlic that has been like in your family for a long time, or your grandfather grew this garlic, or there's some kind of story with it or something, or if you've been growing it for a number of years, please, would you send me some? Would you consider sending me some? Because whatever you send to me, and give me the story, if there's a story with it, I will plant. And I want to do, because I plant a load of garlic. So if it's just a few bulbs, would be enough, or however much, and I will plant that type. And I will keep the strains alive. I will keep it growing. So if you want to, because some people, they have like a strain of garlic or of other plants that they want to nurture, or they want to see, it's been in their family a while or something. And so they want to see that live on. I assure you, I will respect it properly. So if you have that, email me at gardenlikeaviking@gmail.com, and I will tell you how to send it to me. And I would really appreciate that. And maybe if you need something, then, if you want some of the sulfur, pre-made sulfur stuff, then okay. So send me some of your garlic and I can send you a liter of the sulfur or something. All right? And you won't have to make it yourself, because a liter will actually last you a long time of it. So something like that, some kind of exchange can happen for sure. So soft neck grows more often in warmer climates. Right, yeah, definitely. Hard neck will grow also in sort of the warmer, but you want, the soft neck does not thrive in the northern climates. That's correct. I've just always used the hard neck. I mean, I think that's all that we even have in this area for the most part. Garlic greens are delicious. My daughter loves picking raspberries and strawberries. Goes looking every day. Yes. Hello, Zach. Do you have any suggestions for way public guerrilla gardening? I had radishes and no one took them. Do you have any suggestions for way public guerrilla gardening? I had radishes and no one took them. I'm not sure exactly. The guerrilla gardening I did is not public. By very definition, it's not public. It's the opposite of public. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, but that sounds like a very interesting topic. Okay. Nice to trade. Okay. I talked about wood-fired sauna. Any Garden Like a Viking merch. Any Garden Like a Viking mercy. Yes, the Viking will show mercy in the right situation. In the rare situation, no, pretty much always mercy. Merch, not merch yet. Don't have any yet, but soon. What would be some good ideas for some merch? Definitely some shirts that I think they could just say Garden Like a Viking, because even just the name itself is a bit like, what are you talking about? And in the logo, as much as I didn't want to use horned helmets, because the Vikings never wore horned helmets, but that's how everyone knows the Vikings. So I'm almost open to that again, utilizing that, okay? Let's see, it sounds perfect. My Finnish self wants to build a wood sauna, but the tent seems much more accessible now. Yes, wait until, I know, that's what I wanted to do too, but they've come a long way. These tents are insulated and they already have thought about all these things that you need. And the the stainless steel wood burner. You can pour water all over. It's just great. Okay, so wait until you see. They'll have plenty of them after the mid-December. So you could order it and it'll come right to you. It's free shipping in the States if you're in the States. So it's free shipping. It said it was going to be $600 of shipping from Russia. And I was willing to pay it, almost. I was pretty much willing to pay it, but because you just can't get it otherwise. And to have a sauna in your life is game-changing. It's like the ice bath, man. Once I started doing regular ice baths, it is amazing what it does for the body and the mind. So garden and baseball hats for merch. Garden hats. There we go. That's not a bad idea. Garden hats for merch. That's a good idea. I think people will make up stories and send you normal store-bought garlic just to get the sulfur. Man, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. I should have said, you will get I will send you positive energy. How about that? Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. But you know, I trust, because any type of people that is watching this and this far into it and stuff, you're going to be a good person. You're just going to be good people. So I really doubt that you would lie to the Viking and tell me that it was your great grandmother's stuff when it's not. But hey, look, I just want to show you guys this again. Before we go, because we don't got a whole lot more time. I just want to show you this in case you missed it the first time, because look how beautiful this is, okay? This is what you're going to learn how to do. Produce boatloads of these. And each hole is going to produce a whole set like this. And we pick these, and then they will regrow. We'll get 3 to 4 flushes from this. So we're going to be harvesting from this bucket for the next month, at least. So yeah, you can do this too. The mushroom videos are coming next week. So you can get ready for that. It's going to be delicious. And okay, let's see if we got a few more, because it's getting about time. And this is the second flush from this. I already ate the first one. It was so delicious. And okay, Nate, what's the best way to lower soil pH? Lori, we actually don't. We don't really worry about that. With this style of gardening, we focus on the microbiology of the soil. The soil pH, testing the pH and testing the soil, that is the old way, the way of chemistry. But it's all about biology in the soil. And so, contrary to popular understanding, the plant root itself, based upon the type of microorganism it attracts due to the certain type of particular sugars that it exudes into the soil, the plant will regulate the pH around the rhizosphere that it needs. So it's dramatically over exaggerated and overemphasized and over sold to adjust the soil pH. Nature never adjusts the pH of the soil. There's no need to. So I know that's not the answer you were looking for, but you don't need to adjust the pH of your soil. You need to get the microbiology happening so that it can do it for you. And we do that through the JMS and for the all the techniques that you've seen on this channel. I would like a Viking gardening apron with tool and harvesting pockets. Oh, that is a great idea. Like you mean a gardening apron, right? Yes. And oh man, a little some type of harvesting tool as well. Yeah. I was even going to show you guys the one that I make. I just made it out of steel, and I use it. It's a digging thing and all different kinds of stuff, and it looks very rough, very Viking-ish. Okay. Okay, so yes, gardening apron. That is cool. That's a great idea. All right, guys, we are getting close to the end. I've been looking for a garden hat. Yeah, that might be something I look into, but I don't know. So how do I even, I don't know how to even go about that yet. So that's amazing. The mushrooms seem like a great indoor idea. Could they be used to increase CO2 levels in an indoor garden environment? Yes, that is what they are meant to do in the forest. They are producing the CO2 and the plants above are consuming the CO2. Yes, you can. You just have to remember CO2 sinks. So, okay, guys, this is going to be coming to an end. You should store your videos, YouTube videos, on an emergency files in case the YouTube overlords decide to cancel you. I know. That would be terrible, but I should in some way. I mean, I have every single one of them stored, but not like on an internet source. So houseplants and cooking videos, yes, those are all coming. And love Saturday morning chats. Thanks for the time and energy. You're very welcome. Save the soil, zip up sweatshirts. That's a good idea. Stay loyal to the soil. You are what you eat eats, because then people will look at that and you would have to explain it to them. Yeah, it's all about the microbiology in the soil. Okay. Okay, my friends, I'm a little bit exhausted now. It's time to take a break. So thank you for stopping by. I felt like just in a really good room full of my friends, and this has been very great. Oh yeah, I've shown you this before, but guys, it's an Indiana company, and harrissugarbush.com. Fantastic maple syrup. Okay, and they don't even know I'm saying this about them. I just believe in this company, and I like helping this little company out. So if you're looking for maple syrup, they're kind of old school, so you have to like go to their website and pick out the one that you want, and then email. You have to contact them and say, send it to me. Here's my address. Super worth it. Very good price, and some of the best. And I'm a maple syrup connoisseur. Okay, so I give it my big thumbs up. Definitely more cooking videos. Yes, I could do that. And I could wear the apron in the cooking videos, but I would want it to be like leather, you know, like studded leather. Not, yeah, but like a brown mahogany, you know, with gold studs, something like that. Okay, my friends, we'll see you next week. And thank you for everything.